If you're a Wunderkeys teacher, you might be shocked to find out that this is being replaced by this. Today we are talking about the brand new, revised Wunderkeys Primer Book One, which was just released. In this video, we'll do a little flip through of the new revised edition, talk about what was added, what was taken away. We'll talk about what we think about the changes, what my students think about the changes, and how to implement this new version of Primer Book One into your studio. Hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Phoenix and I'm the Tattooed Piano Teacher. If you're not already using Wunderkeys or you're not familiar with it, then I would suggest going back to this review here that I did of the Wunderkeys series. In that video, you'll get a sense of what Wunderkeys is all about, how the series works, what's unique about it, and if it would be right for you. This video is intended for people who are already using and familiar with the Wunderkeys series, who are curious about this new edition of the primer books. When I first heard that the Wunderkeys authors were working on a new edition of their primer books, I was really excited. They talked about adding longer songs and some other changes that they wanted to implement. However, I wasn't quite expecting the new version of the book to be this different than the old version. So we have a lot to discuss here. Let me flip through the pages and give you a little preview of the new primer book. And as I do so, let's talk through some of the things that were taken away from the old version and some of the things that were added. The first thing you'll notice before you even open this up is that the characters look different. Yes, we still have our four friends, Sheldon the squirrel, Gary the grizzly, Ruby the rabbit, and Maxine the skunk, and the stories are very similar. However, the characters have been redesigned with a new art style. We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but just take it in for now. You'll also notice that the comics are, for the most part, missing. Well, the stories are still kind of there and there's some dialogue. Some of it is exactly the same as the other book, and some of it has been changed, but it has less of a comic feel or look to it on those introduction pages in each new unit. You'll also notice an absence of the practice on the pathway pages. However, there are short exercises and they have been lengthened and kind of changed around in how they look and how the students are practicing before they get their songs. So in part, little practice songs are still a part of this book. They just look different. And you've probably already noticed as I'm flipping through that they did take out the games at the end of every other unit. So that is a big change from the old one. A couple of little games have been added in here. They are completely different than the old style of games. Notice that many of the same songs are present, but they have been lengthened. There are more songs that have been added. There's more hands together work in this first primer book. And there are also the presence of teacher duets, which were not there in the old version. Now let's flip back to the beginning and think about our very, very beginning pre-reading students. You'll notice that the notation style has changed. There used to be these black numbers to indicate the finger numbers on the black keys. Now we have these sort of bubbles to show the finger numbers and bubbles to show the rhythm before quarter notes and half notes are introduced. I did ask my Wunderkeys students what they thought of the new notation, so stick around. I will share their opinions with you in a little bit. Now, a big one that I'm sure you've also noticed is the addition of the unit numbers and page numbers in the corners. If you recall, the old version of the Wunderkeys primer books did not have any page numbers at all, and it just had the name of the unit story at the top. So those are the major differences in the new one. I'm sure you're already forming your own opinions if you are a Wunderkeys teacher, but let me just talk a little bit about what I like and what I am not so thrilled about with the new version. I do love the page numbers. I always wrote in page numbers on the old version, so I'm all about that. I like the organization and communication with the parents. I think the teacher duets are fun, and I do understand the new notation for pre-reading students. I think that the visual representation of holding notes makes sense to me. More songs, longer songs is great. It gives this method book a little more pedagogical presence, let's say, than the old version. It feels a little bit more like a legitimate all-in-one method book. One thing that I wish would have changed but didn't change at all was the inclusion of writing assignments, but stick around to the end because I have some thoughts about that too. That really didn't change from the old to the new, so that is the same. However, some things that changed that I was a little disappointed about was the comics and the games presenting themselves differently / basically being taken away. I think that my students, when they open up that book and they see the aesthetics of the comic pages and those games coming up in the next few pages, that really motivates them to get this book out. It's one of the very unique features that I think students are really going to miss having right inside of their book. There are some alternatives for game time, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I do think that that is a real bummer. The other thing is the aesthetics of it, I don't think are as appealing as the first one, I have to say. Now, this is of course just a matter of opinion, but the way that the characters looked in the old version with the softer faces, facial expressions, just the way that the art was presented in the old version, it just appealed to me more. So we'll see what my students have to say about that in a minute. But actually, to be completely honest, when I first saw this version of Sheldon start popping up on some of the Wunderkeys printables on the website, actually months ago, I thought it was like a really old version of Sheldon. I thought it was like maybe like the early 2000s version of Sheldon that I was seeing on these worksheets and games. And then I come to find out that that's actually the new version of Sheldon. So I don't know, I just think that they're still cute, but I did like the old versions aesthetically better and just how like the pages looked when you opened up the book. So I asked some of my Wunderkeys partners and groups what they thought. I got out the old book again so they could remember what book one was like. And then I showed them the brand new version. I didn't say anything about the changes to it. I just opened it up and let them talk. So here's what they had to say, their little opinions about the new version of the Wunderkeys Primer Book One. Well, just this month, they replaced this one with a new version.
It's so cute.
And I would like to know what you think about the old version versus the new version. Like, what differences do you see and which one do you like better if you were just starting the piano?
Characters look way different.
The characters look way different, don't they?
Gary looks weird.
Alana, you said you don't like the new version of the characters?
Yeah, I think they kind of look weird. They have weird eyes.
They have weird eyes. Okay, so Maxine does look a little different, doesn't she? She looks a little different.
That looks like a cat.
What do you think of the new one versus the old one?
Well, I feel like I like his glasses better.
Yeah, that's cute.
But I don't like how he's sticking his tongue out. It's just like, bro, that's just nasty. And he doesn't even have a paraglider. It's just wiggles.
True. So you think the artwork in general, we kind of like the old version better? Yeah.
He's like all newfangled and chunky. It's giving me a headache. And since when did Gary wear a blue sweater? Yeah, these people are creepy. Yeah,
Ruby doesn't quite look the same. Yeah.
Can I see something? They all look creepy and weird. And I hate it.
Okay.
I like the graphics in the first one better.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I like the
there's no background picture. There's literally no background picture.
Do you think that aesthetically the old version is better?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer the animation.
I prefer
of this
the
one. Because this one, they're more anime. This one, they're more anime. They're anime characters. They're anime.
Yeah, they have big eyes, yeah.
Yeah, they're like anime characters. These are more half realistic.
Those kind of remind me of like screen printing.
Like keep these graphics,
Yeah.
keep these sort of graphics and stuff.
Make the
Just
size
add
a
page
little
numbers.
longer.
Add page numbers.
Yeah.
I kind of like how the old books are like the characters more, I feel like.
You like how the characters are drawn in the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look so much different.
They do look so much different. For the most part, is better
Yeah,
than the new
besides the bunny, I feel.
one? Besides the bunny, you like the pictures of the old ones better?
There's no practice on the pathway and like, wait, there's exercises in the middle of the book.
Okay, now I think exercises replace practice on the pathway. Okay? So it's 2 longer ones instead of 3 short ones. What do you guys think about that? Similar. You don't like it? Not sure? Okay. and then the game is gone.
There's no games? Yep, there's no games in this one.
No games.
Oh,
No more games?
They got rid of the game.
I like the old one better.
Yeah, hold on.
Wait, where are the games here? I like.
You like the game? Yeah, so there's no games like this.
Oh.
The game that they had in here was a bingo game.
Oh, but that would be London Wall.
Bingo would be fun.
London.
If you were just beginning your piano journey, do you think that this type of notation would be easier to read or this type of notation for your Black Keys songs?
I think this is better because
You like the whole thing?
yeah, I like the holds and the measures. I just think it was a lot easier for me to read when there was just everybody sticking out their tongues, and they
A lot
weren't
of tongues in the new one,
and they
isn't
weren't
there?
too
That's weird.
scattered around when I was
see
just
that.
starting piano.
Mhm.
Looks easier to follow than
You think this
one.
looks easier to follow?
Yeah,
This just
yeah.
makes
Okay.
it look too confusing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes it look way confusing.
Alright.
I like this one better.
I like this one better.
You like the black
Just like-
numbers a little bit better?
It's just like more
I
organized.
feel like this is like easier to read.
Oh, you think that the circles are easier to read? Or are you talking about the keyboard pictures?
Yeah, and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
but then like this,
But then
these
this
are
one is-
easier to read.
Mm. Do you think that
Looks like
getting
this
more
one kind of-
challenging songs is better, or do you think short and simple is better?
This
Yeah,
one
short
kind
and
of
simple.
speeds it a lot.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one's more
it does.
speedy, but this one, I honestly prefer this one.
Okay.
Like ease them into it.
What do you guys think if you were just starting piano? Longer songs or shorter songs?
Shorter songs.
Shorter because
Shorter
I
songs.
feel like they would be easier to learn. Like
Yeah,
if you
and
were
you could
starting
like
you
on
were
build
just starting.
on. You can like
and then you could next move on to this one.
Mm.
But I would like if right now I would probably do longer songs.
Sure, for like the second and third book maybe.
I
Yeah.
want to see the second and third.
They are going to make a new version of the second and third as well, but they haven't made it yet. So basically my students were kind of thinking the same things that I was, although they were a little bit harsh, but let's talk about some ways that we can utilize the new version. And if you are in agreement with me that some of the things that were taken away are kind of missed, then I have some ideas for you. So option number one, if you are missing some of the elements of the old version, is that you can still order this one on Amazon. So this one has a separate sales page than this one. So you can actually still order both. Now, I don't know if this one will be available forever and ever, or if they will take it down. However, I will keep you posted on that. So subscribe to this channel. I will keep you posted on all the updates about the Wunderkeys. But for now, you can order both. This could play out in a lot of different ways. Perhaps you want to keep studio copies of this one for the games and the stories when you introduce a new unit. And then the students go home with this one with the longer songs or something like that. Perhaps students would want to have both and they could work in both and they would get double the fun, double the Sheldon. I don't know. Just another idea. Now looking online at what Andrea had to say about the new book is she realizes that the games will be missed. And what she said was that there were just only so many pages in here. And with the addition of the new songs, there just wasn't enough room for everything. So they had to make some decisions, which I totally understand. So she's making the games that appear in this book available for printout for free. All you have to do is sign up with your email on the Wunderkeys website. So I'll be sure to link that down below. So if you want to print out the games, laminate them, and then just keep them in your studio, that you could absolutely do. So option number 3, let me just throw this out there. Many of you know that I am creating my own supplemental series. It's called Piano Skill Set, and my books do have games in them. The books that I'm creating are theory books, writing books, and technique books. So considering that even the new version of the Wunderkeys is a little bit lacking in writing assignments, and some might say it needs a little extra technique work for beginning students, those books would pair really nicely with the Wunderkeys book. This could be the main lesson book. You could use my writing book and or my technique book to go along with them. Then you would have some games. There are games in both of those books. The note introduction schedule is very similar, if not exactly the same, to the Wunderkeys in my series. So I feel like they would complement each other very, very nicely. Let me know if you'd be interested in like a lesson plan for how they would kind of pair together. I could absolutely write something up for that. So that is an alternative if your students are really, really into the idea of having games actually in their book that they get to play. And let me throw out just a fourth suggestion for you as well. If you want to stick with the old one because overall you like that one better, but you want the longer songs, or two problems, one solution, stick with me. Or if you like the longer songs in the new one, but you're missing some of the story aspects of the old one, in either case, let me suggest for you the Wunderkeys supplemental series, which is called the Very Useful Piano Library. These are little story-based 2-page songs in a book with theory writing assignments. You might be interested in pairing either one of these with the supplemental books that are meant to go along with it. They're micro-leveled, so there's something for every part of the primer levels. If you're interested in those books and you're not familiar with them, I just posted a review on those, and I will link that right here. So let me know what you think of the new primer book. Have you ordered it yet? Are you planning to order it? Are you planning to stick with this one? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? I am so curious to hear the chatter from the community on what you all think about the revised version of the Wunderkeys Primer Book One. And stay tuned. When book 2 and 3 come out, I will certainly be ordering them as soon as they're available, and I will bring you all the tea on those ones as well. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to check out that Wunderkeys supplemental review, that will be right up here for you. I'll see you there or on another video very soon. Bye.